So here we are at day 2 of the Canadian Judicial Council hearing into Federal Court of Canada Judge Robin Camp. He's the judge, of course, whose comments in a sexual assault trial that he made when he was sitting on the provincial court in Alberta got him into so much trouble. Among the sort of most famous quotes are, he said to the alleged victim of the sexual assault, couldn't you just have kept your knees together? So, as you can imagine, that ignited a firestorm of controversy. And here he is now fighting for his $314,000 a year job. Today, defense lawyer Frank Addario called an expert witness, another judge from the Manitoba Court of Queen's bench named Deborah McCauley, who is a bit of a sort of specialist in gender equality and that sort of issues, the mechanics of running a sexual assault trial. And she agreed to meet Judge Camp last December. She'd read the transcript of the trial that got him in so much trouble. She was appalled. She wondered if would she want to help somebody like this? Anyway, she met him and spent a day with him and was pretty quickly convinced that he was a bright guy, empathetic and eager to learn what he didn't know. It seems to be a famous saying among judges that you don't know what you don't know until somebody points it out to you. So she was questioned today by Mr. Addario and by the presenting counsel for the inquiry about what they talked about and the kinds of things he did to sort of reform his thinking and his beliefs. He's done an awful lot of reading, scholarly reading on sexual assault trials. He's done a lot of reading about the victims of sexual violence. He's attended some intensive seminars run by the National Judicial Institute, which is the sort of judge's school in this country, et cetera, et cetera. And it's all very interesting, and Justice McCauley said basically that he is capable of learning, that she couldn't reconcile sometimes what she read in the transcript of that trial with the guy who was sitting in front of her. So all very interesting and really quite, I think, probably favorable for the judge. What I found interesting, though, was that when Robin Camp was first appointed to the bench, he was basically a commercial litigator. He was not a criminal lawyer. When Justice McCauley herself was appointed to the bench, she had not practiced criminal law. And, a federal court judge or a federal appointed judge gets the advantage of the National Judicial Institute. They get funds to be able to go and learn about the criminal law. But I find it astonishing that people are still, in modern-day Canada, being appointed to the bench and being expected to handle criminal trials, which are a whole different ballgame from commercial law or corporate law or family law even. They're expected to do these things, and in some cases, in the cases of the Alberta Provincial Court, without really any training. So they come from a kind of very different practice. They've never been in a criminal courtroom, which is a whole different experience. It's a rough and tumble part of the law. It's the only part of the law that I find interesting, actually. And it's where the best lawyers are from Idaho. So we get judges who have no experience in the criminal law being appointed to the bench and expected to manage really complicated issues such as those that arise at a sexual assault trial without even a modicum of training. And that's the story for today.